All right, welcome back. Today's lesson, we're going to discuss graphing lines, okay? And I already have some steps or some things written out up here. So it says step 1, graph the y-intercept. Step 2, use the slope of the line to create more points. And then step 3, use a ruler to draw the line that extends through all of the points, placing an arrow at both ends. So throughout this video lesson, you're going to see me follow all 3 of these steps. I'm just going to take my time to show you how to properly do these things, okay? Now, the first thing it says graph the y-intercept. But in order to know what it is, to graph it, we have to know what it is. So first, the y-intercept is always the number without the variable, okay? It has to be in the slope-intercept form, all right? So for number 1, our y-intercept is +1. Now that I've done that, okay, and some people like to write the y-intercept. They use b to represent it. They write it as an ordered pair, 0, 1. Now, the slope is always the number, fraction, or decimal that's attached to x whenever it's written in slope-intercept form, okay? So in this case, m is equal to 2/3. I like to use direction arrows to help me know which way to move, because on a coordinate plane, you can move up and down, or you can move left and right. Now, the fraction 2/3 is positive. So that numerator, since the fraction is positive, the numerator means to go up. And then the denominator, we're going to always give it a right arrow. So these are the movements that I'm going to use when I start at the y-intercept to find other points, because now I'm going to do step 2, use the slope of the line to create more points. So this is how you do it. You put your pen or pencil on the y-intercept, and then you're going to use the slope to do the counting. So my slope tells me to go up 2, 1, 2. Then it tells me to go right 3, 1, 2, 3. And where I stop is where I put my new point. Now I'm going to erase those bubbles, and I'm going to repeat that process again from the new point. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3. And then I put my new point. Up 2, right 3. Now I do that until I don't have any more graph left. So I'm going to go back to my newest point and do up 2 and then to the right 3. But as you can see, I don't have enough space to go back to the right for this one, so I can't go up anymore. Now, what I am going to do is go back to my y-intercept. But now, instead of going up and to the right, the same as going up and to the right is going down and to the left. So if I follow that same pattern down and to the left, 1, down 2, and then to the right 3. 1, 2, 3. And then this is where I put my new dot. Now I'm going to erase those, and I'm going to do that again. Down 2, 1, 2, and then to the left 3. 1, 2, 3. And I'm going to put my dot right there. And if I do it one more time, down 2, left 3, you see I run out of room. So now that I've used all of my graph, I go ahead and connect the dots with the line, and I have to put an arrow at the end to represent that it continues going. And that's how you graph a line. Let's take a look at number 3, because number 3 actually gives us a negative slope here. But first, remember, we have to start with the y-intercept. Our y-intercept here is 0, -4. So on the y-axis at -4, I put a dot. 1, 2, 3, 4. Here's -4. So there's my y-intercept. Now that I've done that, I need to identify my slope. My slope this time is -1/2. So m equals -1/2. Since the numerator, the fraction is negative, the numerator is going to be telling me to go down. No matter what, the denominator always moves to the right, okay? And the reason when we say go to the right, because in math is a language, and just like most languages, you read from left to right. When we do math work and we describe graphs or give descriptions of things in math, usually it's from left to right. So now that I know the slope tells me to go down 2, right 1. Down 1, right 2. So that's what I'm going to do. Down 1, and then right 2. 1, 2. And now I'm going to put my new dot. I'm going to erase that. And now I'm going to do it again. Down 1, right 2. And then I put my new dot. Okay. Oops. Accidentally erased my dots. And now I'm going to go do it again. Down 1, right 2. And you continue this until you have no more graph left. Let me erase that. And it looks like I can go down 1 again, and I can go right 2, and my last point will be right at the edge of that 4th quadrant. All right, now that I've gone all the way to the right, I need to go back to the left. But to go back to the left, I have to go up and to the left. So up 1, left 2, 1, 2. And now I put my new dot. And I erase that. And then I'm going to do it again. Up 1, left 2. And then I'm going to put my new dot. So that's pretty much it. You continue using the slope until you run out of graph. Okay? And I think I have one more I can do. Up 1, right 2. There we go. And that goes all the way to the edge of that quadrant. Now, I can go ahead and connect all of my dots with the line. And that's how you graph, okay? Let's take a look at number 4 real quick, because number 4 gives us a slope that is a whole number. But once again, start with the y-intercept. The y-intercept here is positive 7. So at positive 7 on the y-axis, we want to plot our y-intercept. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. There's where my y-intercept goes. Always plot the y-intercept first. Next, identify your slope. Now, our slope is -3. But in terms of using this slope, we need to write it as a fraction so we can have our rise over run. Anytime you write a whole number as a fraction, you put it over 1. Now, since the numerator is negative, that means I go down. And the denominator always gets a right arrow. So now this tells me to go down 3 and right 1. Start at the y-intercept. So my pencil's on my y-intercept, and then I'm going to go 1, 2, 3 down, and then I'm going to go 1 to the right. Put my dot. I'm going to erase my little curls, and then I'm going to do it again. 1, 2, 3, and then I go 1 to the right. I'm done. Put my dot, and then erase the little curls. And repeat the process until you have no more graph left. 1, 2, 3, 1. And I pretty much have the pattern, so I'm going to finish it without the bubbles. And the more you use the bubbles, the easier you'll start to see the patterns to the slope, okay? Now that all of my dots extend the length of my coordinate plane, I go ahead and connect them with a line with an arrow at each end. Okay, ladies and gentlemen, hope that helped you all out. See you back for another lesson. Deuces.